I mentioned the DMV last podcast. Watching my son drive to school by himself for the first time. So he's had the instructor, he's had us, he's had the permits, he got his test. Watching him go like to high school, like pull out of the driveway and drive away.
Peering out of the front window going,
oh, I was like standing in the driveway and then walking down to the end of the road.
No
like,
pressure.
Like, yeah. Well, he waved. He was fine. I mean, he didn't have pressure. He didn't care. I was just us. I mean, and you had 3 daughters do it at the same time, and obviously an older daughter who had done that previously, so maybe that prepared you. But it was, I mean, the only equivalent I can think of, and this, I don't know if this is how we want to start the podcast. I know it's a free speak forum. It was like bringing him home from the hospital. It was like welcoming into the world. Like we're getting old and we're working this thing.
It's those
but
steps, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, there he goes. And anyway, so that was my experience this week. I'm thankful that they made it through their first week of school, especially him driving himself back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I'm here late night. I got my Bleacher Blum's mug.
Man.
Is it? Yeah.
No, that's a big step. No, I know I've told this story before, but we have a window that actually looks down the driveway. So I didn't want to be the dad that was like watching them like as they pulled out of the garage and every move they made. But I have definitely been the guy, peeking through the shutters as they pull out of the driveway going, oh, dear God, don't get T-boned, don't get T-boned. That's all my thought. I'm like, just get there safe.
It's so nice, and maybe that's what's another great thing about this forum. When we used to talk in the parking lot, our talks in the parking lot, these steps, you're not alone, I guess, sharing those steps. And I think for a man, I said this to my wife too this week, for a man, it's like once we decide to let them drive to school, right, and we got the insurance, he got his license, it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, we can say, oh, no, we'll drive you for the first week, or no, you're not going to drive yourself to school. But once we decide, then I'm okay from a compartmentalization or practical standpoint. But it's just nice to hear you had some of the same feelings. It's like, I just want him to make it 2 miles to school and back the first day. It's like, man, make it 2 miles. Be safe.
Yeah, it's monumental. They come through the door and it's a big old bear hug. You did so good. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. The first step of many.
But how about just getting back to school? I mean, summer is great, and now that the kids are driving, and you'll find this out too, when they start driving in the summer, then they can kind of go, hey, Dad, I'm going to go over to my buddy's house. Hey, Dad, I'm going to go do this. And you're like, oh, go for it. You don't have to necessarily like work your schedule around driving them and dropping them off. But then you have the anxiety of the late nights. Are they going to get home safe? You and I both know the freaks that drive at the middle of the night. It's not so much your kid as it is like all the 9 other idiots that are on the road around them.
Nozzles, as you like to say.
Nozzles. They're complete nozzles. Man, yeah. After 9, the freaks come out, the nozzles make appearances. But with them getting back to school, I mean, Kayla's room is right behind this wall right here. But, man, I don't know if they listen to this podcast or their friends or whatever. But, dude, getting back to school, freak yeah, bro. Yeah. I get my routine back.
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely if we had a trampoline in the house, it's like, woo. I mean, you're jumping up and down. It's so this is a great place to start the podcast in general. But the COVID effect, so working from home more than I typically would, like normally, you're either out, I cover a territory instead of like having to go into an office, but I'm usually out of the house. But COVID kept us in the house. My wife's in the house more than she would be. You're not just venturing out. Now, I know things have loosened up a little quicker in Texas, but, just the combination of the kids last year specifically being in school every other day and not every day, and then being at home to work, it feels like the old, like, school's out for the summer. Like, for us as parents, It's like, yes, they're in.
School's back in session.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, wow, this is amazing. And I sat the other morning with my coffee, and I took the girls to school after Tyler drove off. And I dropped them off, and I was back home at 7:55, and there was no one here. Addie had gone for a run. How good is that
cup of coffee in silence?
Oh, man. It was awesome. And I'm like, yes. So I second what you said, and I can imagine, having 4 girls getting ready for school, driving or not, like coming home at different times. Yeah, we're going to our friend's house. Like the schedule is like, all right, you're all in school from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock or whatever, whenever volleyball practice ends. Like I can live with that. And I'm cheers. All I can say is cheers, right?
Cheers to that. Yeah, we can cheers that. We can drink it. they'll be getting up at dawn tomorrow. I'll be sleeping off this vodka, whatever I'm drinking. But yeah, it's good to get that routine back, and it's nice because I love to nap. So I can wake up with them, say hello, wish them a great day at school. I can get my little Peloton ride in. I can walk the dog, get my cup of coffee, and then it's fill out my, do all my prep and fill out my scorecard, and then poof, about noon, Daddy's gone. I can take my nap in peace, go up in the theater, ice it out. Oh, it's so good.
Nappuccino.
Believe it. That is the Nappuccino is the way to go. So Bleacher Blum.